Hey, Boat Dragons, I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I am bringing you a book review blast. We are going to talk about 4 different books that I recently read, and I'm so excited to talk with you about these. These are books that I did not necessarily feel warranted a full book review, but I want to give them a few minutes of my time and your time. So let's go ahead and get right into the books, starting with The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince by Robin Hobb. This is a prequel novella to The Realm of the Elderlings, and I mean all of the books in The Realm of the Elderlings. This tells the story of a princess in the Farseer line with many different suitors that are vying for her attention, and the only person that she is really totally interested in is the stable hand. And one thing leads to another, and a child is born, and he is nicknamed the Piebald Prince because of the different colored marks upon his skin that appear to have been a result of his mother's troubled birth. And in this story, we learn some of the history behind the hatred of the wit. If you are not familiar with the wit, you will learn about it in the Farseer trilogy, the first trilogy in the Realm of the Elderlings. And the wit is basically a magic that allows you to communicate on a deeper level with beasts of the field and other animals. And so this particular magic in the time of the Farseer trilogy is very much looked down upon, and there are reasons behind that, and we learn them in this book. And if you are a fan of The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb, and you have not read this book, I highly recommend that you read this book. It is a must-read in my opinion. I had a great time reading it. If you have come to expect a certain level of prose and storytelling and character work in Robin Hobb's writings, you will not be disappointed in this novella. It is more of the same. So definitely read that one. I gave that one a huge heart. The next one I want to talk about is a book by Roger Zelazny, and that is A Night in the Lonesome October. And this is my first experience reading Roger Zelazny. I've never read anything else by him, although I do have plans to read other books of his. This is a very unique novel because it is meant to be read in the month of October during Spooky Month, which is when I read it. And it is formatted in such a way that it can be a daily reader for you throughout the month of October. There are 31 chapters in the book, and it follows a group of well-known characters from other spooky stories and spooky adjacent stories that are coming together during the Halloween season to take part in a contest of sorts. And the end result of the contest, winning or losing, could mean the end of human civilization as we know it. And you will find many familiar faces in this book, such as a man pieced together by a mad scientist. You will also run across a famous detective and his doctor friend. You will run across vampires and even famous serial killers that have all come together for this major event to take one side or the other for or against the world-altering event. There are huge Lovecraftian overtones in this as well. I'll go ahead and say that. But I absolutely had a blast reading this. It's a fun book to read for the month of October. And sometimes it's hard to just read one chapter. But I did go into it with the intention of just reading a chapter a day. And that was good because, there's other books that you're wanting to read during a month. And if you only have to read one chapter a day in this, you've got plenty of time for other books. And the story is really wonderful. It's an easy read. It's a short book. It's under 300 pages. And I highly recommend it if you've never read it. And if you have never read Roger Zelazny, like I hadn't, this is a good introduction, I would say. So there you go. And for this one, I gave it 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. Not the best book I've ever read in the world, but it was maybe a step down. If that. It was a fantastic read. I really enjoyed it. So we are moving on to a book by Ray Bradbury, and that is Something Wicked This Way Comes. Something Wicked This Way Comes is about a small town that is visited by a carnival, but this isn't just any carnival. This is a very mysterious carnival run by a man known only as Mr. Dark. It would seem that they are not there only to entertain people, but they are there with deeper motives, possibly soul-stealing at worst, and at best, looking to recruit. Because this carnival travels all over the world and mysteriously appears in different locations and has some rather dastardly plans. And I don't want to say too much, but I quite enjoyed the book. There were parts of the book that I didn't really click with. It was a little bit of a haphazard story at times, but overall I really had a good time. I really love books that feature a circus or a carnival, and I really enjoyed my time reading this, and it does make me want to read other Ray Bradbury books. I've had books of his that I've liked and books of his that I haven't, and so this is one that I definitely liked. I think it was a lot of fun to read and had some really great and impactful moments, but there were a few things that just didn't quite feel like they worked for me, and that's okay. Everybody's going to experience this book a little bit differently, like with any book. So I definitely recommend that you read Something Wicked This Way Comes. I gave it a thumbs up. It was a good read. I don't know if I would read it again, but I really enjoyed my time with it, and I think it's well worth reading at least once. All right, so we're going to put that down there. And then the final book on this book review blast is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. The Writing Retreat follows a young, aspiring author in her early 30s who finds out that her absolute favorite author is putting on a writing retreat. And it's by invitation only. You have to apply to go to the writing retreat. And she sends off her sample of her writing, thinking that there's no way that she's going to get into this. But lo and behold, she gets accepted by the famous author and ends up going to the writing retreat. And the writing retreat is at this really remote, almost reclusive old home. And early on in the book, you kind of get vibes that there's something not quite right here, but you don't know if it's supernatural, you don't know if it's just psychological, and it's that way through a good chunk of the book. I didn't know quite which was which, whether it was going to be like a supernatural horror or a psychological horror, but I definitely got horror vibes. And oh boy, did it pay off. I'm not going to tell you which it is, because I want you to read it for yourself. I really highly recommend this book, at least for reading once, and it paid off in spades. And funny enough, as a writer myself, it got my writing juices flowing, because I'd been in a writing slump, and weirdly enough, horror novel that it is, it made me want to write more, and I know that's strange, but I really enjoyed my time with it. It's a small writing retreat. There's, I think, 5 women or 6 women. The things you find out as the book goes along are things that you will not expect. You will not expect the revelations that happen, and especially the ending. You will not expect the ending. At least I did not expect the ending. I have heard other people say that they kind of could see the ending coming. I couldn't, and I really, really enjoyed that. I really like being surprised. So I hope you'll check it out, and I hope you really enjoy it. I gave the writing retreat 2 thumbs up, and let me know what you think if you read it. And those are the 4 books I have for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of my reviews on each of these 4 books. Let me know if you've read any of these books. I know A Night in the Lonesome October was a popular one on YouTube this season. Probably several of you that are watching my video have read it. And so let me know in the comments below. And until next time, make sure you read more books. And if you want to watch more of my content, here's some ideas for you on the end screen.